and welcome back to Music Movies. When you hear the term Disney musical, what movies come to mind? Chances are all the movies that you're thinking of are correct, but broaden your definition of the term musical. Huh. Well, if you guys remember Disney back in the 40s, he had...
Remember me?
Yeah, hey. Welcome to my new place.
Remember this?
Yeah, I use those all the time. Where'd you get it?
Remember my Phantom plushie?
You're not still on about that, are you?
You murderer!
It's a plushie.
Well, even cotton polyester blends have feelings, at least until you stab this through his fibrous heart.
Well, what about the limited edition one I got you?
You tricked me!
Yeah, nice gag, right?
And now, I enact my revenge.
Oh, villain, smiling, damn villain, smite me if you must. The young they die and stuff, and other Shakespearean quotes involving death.
I think your definition of revenge differs from mine.
Oh.
Firstly, here's your stupid dark back. And secondly...
Oh, can we please do this another time? I was about to do a review here.
Oh, you were you? Well, as further punishment for your crimes, I am confiscating this review. You will hand over the reins of Fantasia to me.
How did you know I was gonna...
Frighten me.
You don't even review movies like this.
I could.
It's not even your territory.
Well, it happens to be my personal favorite animated movie of all time. It made me who I am today, and I would do a far better job reviewing it than you ever could.
Look, I have no problem bringing you in on the review, but I can't give you full creative control. 50-50?
On one hand, you did murder my beloved plushie. But on the other hand, you have so many cool colored socks to play with. Deal.
That's okay, I know where that's been.
Besides, you don't know enough about Fantasia to do this on your own.
I do so.
Prove it. What is Fantasia? Describe in your own words.
Oh, my own words, huh? Okay. Niplat florni quando flunisplangurgen.
Don't be a smartass.
Just following instructions here.
You know what I meant. Stop being fatuous and describe.
Fine. Fantasia is the very definition of a labor of love on the part of Walt Disney. It all began when he needed a vehicle to promote Mickey Mouse, which led to the idea of the now iconic Sorcerer's Apprentice musical short using the symphonic poem of the same name by Paul Dukas.
Then, the project took on a life of its own, and incredible amounts of money and time were spent on making Fantasia the best it could possibly be. A huge professional orchestra, an entirely new form of audio recording, Disney's best minds and artists working day and night.
They even had to outfit theaters with brand new sound systems for the express purpose of showing Fantasia properly, in what amounts to be the precursor to modern-day surround sound.
And who, with all this time and effort put into the sound and music of Fantasia, would they dare trust, would they bestow the honor of conducting the orchestra?
Leopold!
Leopold! Leopold! Leopold! Leopold!
The entire movie is presented like a live concert by Deems Taylor, the renowned music critic and composer and commentator for the New York Philharmonic.
The concept was unique, and I can see why audiences back then were so leery about giving it a chance.
So now we present the Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach, interpreted in pictures by Walt Disney and his associates, and in music by the Philadelphia Orchestra and its conductor, Leopold Stokowski.
Leopold!
Perhaps we should explain who Leopold Stokowski is.
It's starting.
Taylor makes an interesting point here. When you go to a concert to see an orchestra play, your mind will eventually start to drift off as the music does things to your imagination, but it's not immediate. First, you're focused on watching them perform, hence the imagery here, before eventually getting into the animation.
This animation is weak. This is Toccata and Fugue. Where are the huge pipe organs, the creepy, frightening resonations, the mad genius at his bench playing to relieve his soul?
Would you prefer if Deems Taylor wore a mask? Would that make you feel better?
Do not taunt my Phantom fandom. This is serious business.
I am the mask you wear.
orchestration aside, I admit the stream of consciousness way they approach the illustration is interesting, though once the animation does kick in, it doesn't do anything to keep the attention. It's abstract and doesn't tell any kind of story.
Well, neither does Toccata and Fugue.
Yes, it does. It tells the story of a dark and tortured soul.
Some music exists only for its own sake, and that's okay. I really like this kind of imagery since it's frighteningly similar to what goes through my own mind when I listen to music like this.
I don't know. For me, it's kind of like staring at the Windows Media Player twisty line bubble things. All you can do is zone out to it.
Ah, but remember, this was done in the 40s, so think of this as the precursor to those kind of visualizations.
So, Fantasia's like a proto-screensaver.
The implications are staggering.
What? No, look, I will show you how wrong you are.
You enjoy doing that, don't you?
It's why I'm here.
What did you do?
I'm turning on the screensaver to make a point.
No, you're not. You turned off the review.
No, it's a screensaver, see?
No, I can't.
It must be set to none.
Well, fix it.
I am. There, see? Isn't that just as good?
Look, I see the point you're trying to make, but wait, turn that off. Jiggle the mouse a little. Oh, damn it. What's the password for this thing?
I thought you knew. This is your show.
How does that even work?
Wait, I remember.
Don't do that again. What was the point we were making again?
I forget.
Aw, cripes, we missed the whole song. Well, at least we still get to see the ending, which for me is one of the most powerful moments in Fantasia. Tell me that doesn't bake your Aziti. Hey, wake up.
Oh, sorry, I was just having flashbacks to the Bald Mountain segment.
Flashbacks? It hasn't happened yet.
The premonitory flashbacks.
That's not even a thing. Next, we move into Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite, a segment which I believe to be the most representative of what Fantasia really is.
Naked fairies?
No. Well, yes, but no. It doesn't have to be an elaborate story, nor a complete abstraction. Something middle of the road is perfect. There's activity, yes, that keeps you engaged and keeps a real focus on the timing with the music.
Like a ballet.
Exactly, and that's Nutcracker.
No, that's a fairy.
How do you know that's not her name?
What? Nutcracker the fairy? I mean, that sounds pretty brutal, don't you think?
Nutcracker the Fairy on Fox.
Well, anyway, that was the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy segment, which showed the little pixies of, I don't know, morning dew.
I prefer the Mountain Dew fairies myself.
Next we see mushroom fairies?
I think the fairies are gone for now.
That's okay, the mushrooms are so cute!
Well, the Chinese dance is cute and all, but far from my favorite. Dance of the Flowers is much more engaging and really gives the Fantasound a chance to shine.
Why, Fantasound? What is that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Fantasound was the name given to the system of recording and playback. You know, that precursor to the surround sound thing I mentioned?
This is where you go all music techie on us, isn't it?
Severely, but I'll make it short. Disney wasn't satisfied just recording an orchestra and playing it back. Instead, they developed a whole new 8-channel recording setup that captured all they wanted separately. So much fun they had with this that they had to upgrade theaters around the country from 1 speaker behind the screen to 8 positioned all around the audience, moving the sound around so fiercely that moviegoers complained of sensory overload.
Thanks to that little lesson, we've missed half the Arabian dance segment.
The sexy fishies?
Yes, the sexy fishies.
It's fitting for the subject. Sexy fishies using their tails like a traditional veil dance? Kinda clever.
You're ogling the fish.
I am not.
You know, they have support groups for that. Here, watch the Russian dance part. Nothing sexy about this one.
Are you saying Cossack dancing thistles have not a lure?
Well, maybe for some. And I've got to say, this segment really brings up the energy of the piece, that's for sure.
Aw, what's up with the girl flowers? Their dance doesn't seem nearly as much fun. They just kind of bop around.
Even flowers have their oppressive sex laws.
Always trying to keep the poppies down. Hey look, more fairies! I don't see our pal Nutcracker though.
I think they all need names. I mean, look, that one's Ballbuster, and that one's Cockblocker, and that one's Penis Pain Giver.
Now who's being juvenile?
Do you want another smack?
No, ma'am.
So, we started with the entrance of spring with the fairies, and I guess the other segments was summertime.
Sounds good to me. This section here where the fall and winter pixies come out to do their job is another favorite of mine I remembered from my childhood. It's a great piece and suits well to the music, but I never did like the ending all that much.
Picky.
Okay, it's Disney. Nostalgia goggles are to be expected. Okay, alright, this is fun. What's next?
Let's see. The one that started it all. The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, no fun. Everyone already knows this one.
Well, you of all people should appreciate that this is Fantasia. This segment is why it all exists in the first place.
Yeah, because Disney thought Mickey Mouse wasn't popular enough?
You're just being cynical. Now, I'm no fan of Mickey either, and when I was a kid, I thought his appearance in this segment was for babies compared to the sophistication of the others. But I at least like that this one tells a definite story. Based on the German poem by Goethe, the little rodent is in the black magic apprenticeship program under a powerful wizard named Yensid.
That's Disney spelled backwards.
Mickey's job is to schlep water while his boss gets to have all the fun. But all that fun will tire a guy out, which leaves a curious Mickey to try out his master's tricks. Of course, not knowing what he's doing comes back to bite him in the ass.
I don't know what's worse. Knowing that our pal Mickey Mouse dabbles in the dark arts or that he's capable of cold-blooded murder.
You don't mess with the mouse.
I've gotta say, while I've never been too enthralled with this segment as a whole, the dream sequence he has always been the exception.
I could see that. Phenomenal cosmic power!
The story, of course, ends with Mickey making a mess out of things, and Yensid has to come down from his nap and moses the mess away.
The music fits the story so well because it was written specifically to match the 1797 poem by Goethe.
Well, it's good, yeah, but I think they made the right decision by making it a smaller piece of a greater whole than its own little standalone short. I'm glad to see you agree with me.
Now here's an interesting choice, Stravinsky's Rite of Spring.
I've always admired this music independently of Fantasia. It's kind of a discordant wonderland. Definitely the most unique choice in the program, though it seems a strange fit with the rendition of the creation of Earth. Never quite the image I had in my head.
Wasn't the Rite of Spring originally about pagan celebration and sacrifice?
Ooh, maybe they should have used this song in The Wicker Man.
The new one or the old one?
Oh, not even Stravinsky could have saved the Nick Cage version. Well, anyway, I say it's a strange fit because this music doesn't speak to me of evolution.
But that's the point. They wanted to do something zany and out of the box with it. I'll admit I find this segment relatively boring and I always forget it exists until I see it again, but I get what Disney was going for here. You have to use your imagination. You can't let the title alone saddle you down or constrict the images only to those of literal spring and pagan dancing. This is planet Earth's metaphorical springtime, its birth and blossoming.
I suppose you're right as usual. Shame there's no story to follow along with.
Not so, imagination. We can do this. Let's go back to the beginning. Yes, see there? That one is Jose.
Jose? What's Jose?
Jose the prokaryote. You see, Jose was the bravest little single-celled organism of them all. He had the gumption to work his way up the food chain while his mean plankton brothers lazed about all day in the ocean currents. Eventually, Jose evolved into a multicellular life form. See? There he is.
The jellyfish?
Yes! Now he's evolving into a fish that evolves into a little legged fishy.
I suppose I should be happy that this little drama is not unfolding via sock puppetry.
Oh, unfolding. Cute! I see what you did there. Anyway, little Jose, through sheer force of his will, is now the biggest dinosaur of them all and takes his revenge on society by killing all the lesser dinosaurs.
So, Jose the T-Rex.
Doesn't that sound marketable?
Mind if I get back on track?
Only if Jose wills it.
The segment ends with the theory that the Earth suddenly became too dry and inhospitable to sustain life, so goodbye Jose and pals.
Poor Jose. But just as well, there are far too many weird inconsistencies with the dinosaurs in there.
I'm surprised you noticed through your storyline.
Shush! Like these Dimetrodons mixing with the ankylosaurs. The Permian period was hundreds of millions of years before the Cretaceous, and the Jurassic Archaeopteryx appearing chronologically after Triceratops, and those hadrosaur-looking things walking with their tails dragging. I guess science in the 40s was still very limited in its knowledge of the past, but seriously.
I'd imagine Disney did their homework. It's what they had to work with.
Still, this edition of the DVD came out in 2000, right? They should have added in a disclaimer or something before a whole generation of children judged them as morons.
And now we'll have a 15-minute intermission.
You heard the man.
Let's all go to
the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.